Hello again, everybody. This is actually us taking on Arlo with Pokemon that are really low IVs, and we'll get to that in a second, but I did want to tell you that another challenge, basically, when I polled you guys for challenges to take on these Team Go Rocket leaders, another one was suggested that we use an all-Ditto team. And so just in case you ever were going to put Ditto in your lineup, I actually didn't know this, but just to demonstrate on screen, you're seeing what happens. You actually do not transform into the other Pokemon, so transform actually works just kind of like an attacking move rather than actually transforming. Just thought that should be shown off. I actually did not know that would be the result. But anyway, what we've got here is just kind of the proof in the pudding. You guys saw that I typed in 0 star. Of course, while we're searching, you can search for your appraisals, whether it's 0, 1, 2, or 3, or even 4-star Pokemon. And so you saw there we had a shiny Pinsir. I would not keep a Pinsir 0 star or a Flareon like this in my box if they had those low IVs or individual values like that, unless they were shiny. So because they're shiny Pokemon, I actually have them in my box. And so I will confess that actually is what makes this challenge. It was actually kind of difficult for me to find any, because basically whenever I catch Pokemon, if they are 0 star like that, if they don't appraise very well, I get rid of them. I'm a meat grinder. But here you can see the battle starting, and again, these are not the lowest possible IVs ever, because that would be 0, but you can tell with the battle starting though, we began with Relicanth right here, and actually it's a great Pokemon for this challenge just because I kind of lucked out. You know, all of these other Pokemon I have not done TMs to. I don't know what their movesets really were. I just kind of had them in my box because they were shinies, but Relicanth, I just have the one, and again, the reason I lucked out is just because it does have, I would say, the better moveset probably for this. You know, Aqua Tail was the charge move that it has, and so being that that's a 3-bar charge move, it is going to charge up a little bit faster than anything else. Also, it has Water Gun, so that's going to get a little bit more energy than its other move that it could have, which would be Zen Headbutt, and so I'm actually glad for this. And so it looks like now, you can tell, we have gone through the shields for Arlo's first Pokemon, which is Bagon. Honestly, Arlo is, I mean, he's a weakling, let's just say it. Like, I don't think that his lineup improved when they changed them. I guess that was like almost a month ago, right, that they changed the lineup, so maybe we'll be experiencing another lineup change coming up. But obviously you see that he does have Blastoise right here. I would say Blastoise probably a more difficult choice, maybe with my lineup. I would need to think about that, I would say, than his other Pokemon that I fought, which is Steelix. And so right here, Relicanth still getting out charge moves, which is nice. I kind of am at an impasse right here where I have a decision to make, and either one would be fine. But, you know, this is obviously doing not very effective damage, just as it actually did with Bagon. So it was kind of the same result, but Blastoise even more so, because Blastoise is going to be a lot more beefy than Bagon. My impasse, or my decision, was basically, do I switch out my Pokemon, or do I keep going with Relicanth and just kind of try to do as much bonus damage as I can before it faints, you know? So, like, anyway, we opted to go with Pinsir to go ahead and switch out right there. And so Pinsir doing okay with that Bug Bite. I mean, it's able to just fire off pretty fast, but really just not strong enough. Pinsir not even getting as much damage as Relicanth, which is surprising. Well, maybe it's not surprising, I don't know. We can get our charge move just fired off a lot quicker with Relicanth, even if the typing is not to our advantage. And so normally that is something that I advise you guys to look for, and that would be only if we were not in challenge mode. Right now, we are in challenge mode, so we're not exactly optimizing for our teams, obviously, and we have a Flareon coming in against Blastoise. That's not going to be good. You can see Blastoise has already done a ton of damage. If we did not have that shield, the result would not be so great, although it does have Ice Beam. That's not going to be super effective or anything like that, but Blastoise seriously on its last little like leg of health, and so maybe it was okay that Flareon got to go in before this last Pokemon comes out, which is going to be Scizor, and so he's got Scizor there as his anchor, and we actually had the charge move basically all ready to go once Scizor was thrown out there. So Flareon, just one flamethrower. I mean, honestly, you could have a Flareon pretty low, like the CP right here, and the IVs obviously are crappy, but the CP was even not up to 2,000, and you could see that absolutely burnt that Scizor. Like, I don't know, do you eat bugs? I mean, I guess that was like a filleted lobster something. Never mind that, of course. So we can go ahead and recap the battle here, but also just to kind of reiterate the point, this was absolutely a video for a challenge. It was not meant to show you an optimized look at exactly which Pokemon you should bring in and which types have the advantage and all that stuff. The only point, I guess, that was the case was with the Flareon at the end, but really it was just because Flareon for me was one of those that I had 0 IV in my box, and I decided to go with it, presuming Scizor would be his anchor, which it usually is. Basically, like 9 times out of 10, it was that when when I'd fight Arlo with this lineup. He would have Scizor at the end. So Relicanth, obviously not going to be a Pokemon that a lot of you would have if you're in like the North American region or any of the outside regions for it. You can kind of translate that somewhat into the idea that, okay, it had a pretty fast attack. It was able to get the energy pretty quickly for its charge move, so that was kind of what had it reign supreme. Also, we did switch out once to the Pinsir, of course. I had a Heracross at 0 star, but I was like, maybe I won't use the Heracross. It might be too easy, honestly, because that Heracross had Counter and Earthquake, but also that Heracross, it was a little bit more powered up than the Pinsir, a little bit better Pokemon in general, as far as bug types go at least. And then I guess on the last thing, I did kind of think a little bit, you know, like I didn't want this to be completely that I shouldn't choose Pokemon that are out of the grip of players or whatever, but I did kind of think like, are we gonna have 2 of these regional exclusives, kind of rare Pokemon? So nah, let's just showcase one with the Relicanth, and so that'll do it right there. But we've tackled each one of these leaders on a more serious and optimized look, as well as a challenge look, so we've kind of done it all, and now we're gonna be going up against Giovanni once again. There is one video already. The full playlist will be in the description, top pinned comment, but we have already fought Giovanni one time with this exact Shadow Moltres lineup. That'll be coming up soon, so click or tap on screen, check out something else, and I will catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing. Superpowers come in showers, rain for hours on the cowards they devour, get overpowered, feeling sour, and I scour the idea of the Bowser that I am. I'm a tower, and wowzers, they axe Howard. You're so empowered, if I can explain the gain, attain a gain.